Beneath the noise of everyday life, in the stillness of our inner world, the soul quietly calls out, not for perfection, but for wholeness. It longs to reconnect us with our forgotten essence, to mend the fractures within that keep us disconnected and divided. This silent yearning shows up in our daily struggles, our addictions, fears, and patterns of self-sabotage, not as weakness, but as invitations. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He taught that true transformation does not begin with control or resistance, but with radical acceptance. Until we face what we fear within ourselves, our shadow, the rejected parts of our being, we remain trapped in cycles of pain. Jungian psychology reminds us that healing comes not from denial, but from the courageous integration of what we've hidden. This is the path of individuation, the journey toward becoming whole. At the core of this is the soul archetype, symbolizing our true self, which can only emerge once we accept our flaws and realities. In this script, we'll embark on a 5-step journey to break free from stagnation and achieve meaningful change. First, we'll explore the root of resistance. Second, recognize your soul's essence. Third, differentiate true acceptance from superficial efforts. Fourth, practice complete self-acceptance. And fifth, challenge limiting beliefs. This path, inspired by Jungian principles, empowers you to embrace acceptance as the gateway to transformation. Let's begin by delving into the origins of our resistance. At the heart of our inability to change lies the wound that prevents acceptance, often rooted in early childhood experiences. These experiences, such as criticism from caregivers or societal pressures, lead us to deny our true feelings and repress our authentic selves. In Jungian terms, this creates shadow wounds in the unconscious, where unaccepted aspects like failures or emotions build up and block our growth. For instance, ignoring a past mistake might seem protective, but it only allows that shadow to grow stronger. We often project these wounds onto external circumstances, blaming others for our shortcomings or misfortunes. This projection is a defense mechanism, as Jung described, where we externalize our inner conflicts to avoid facing them. As a result, we find ourselves trapped in cycles of frustration, repeating unproductive behaviors like procrastination or self-doubt. Without acceptance, these patterns persist, hindering our potential for self-improvement and deeper fulfillment. To break this cycle, we must first reconnect with the true essence of our soul through honest self-reflection. Now, let's turn to the signs that your soul is ready for acceptance. One clear indicator is heightened intuition, those inner nudges that urge you toward necessary changes in your life. You might feel a deep empathy for your own struggles, recognizing that pain is part of the human experience rather than a personal flaw. Another sign is innate resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks with a sense of inner strength. This resilience manifests as a quiet determination, drawing from the soul's wisdom to persevere. Additionally, an inexplicable sense of purpose may arise, like a magnetic inner drive pulling you toward your authentic path. These signs are manifestations of the soul archetype awakening, as Jung would describe, signaling that you're ready to integrate your shadows. They remind us that we are inherently worthy of growth, fostering self-compassion over self-criticism. By understanding these signs, we can distinguish genuine acceptance from mere denial, paving the way for true transformation. This leads us to the next step: differentiating true acceptance from superficial efforts. True acceptance is growth-oriented, encouraging an honest confrontation of our realities rather than avoiding them. It involves looking inward with courage, acknowledging both our strengths and flaws in a balanced way. In Jungian terms, this means integrating the shadow through the individuation process, leading to emotional stability and lasting change. For example, true acceptance might mean admitting a fear of failure and exploring its roots, rather than pretending it doesn't exist. On the other hand, superficial efforts often stem from intense but shallow motivation, like New Year's resolutions that quickly fade. These quick fixes include distractions, such as binge watching or forced positive thinking, without delving into deeper issues. Signs of mere denial include resistance to discomfort, where we avoid vulnerability at all costs, ultimately stalling our progress. To overcome this, try a practical exercise called shadow journaling. Start by reflecting on a personal challenge, then write down 3 layers. First, your surface feelings, like frustration or anger. Second, uncover the underlying shadows, such as a deep-seated fear of rejection. Finally, add acceptance affirmations, like, "I accept this fear as a part of my growth journey." This exercise builds awareness and helps transition to practicing complete self-acceptance. As we move forward, remember that true acceptance is not about resignation, but about empowering yourself for change. Now, let's explore loving yourself through acceptance and unlocking the power to change. Self-acceptance means embracing your shadow, honoring your imperfections, and setting boundaries against self-judgment. Drawing from Jung's teachings, it's about integrating the unconscious to achieve wholeness and authenticity. When you accept yourself completely, you raise the standard for personal growth, attracting opportunities that align with your true self. This acceptance naturally filters out self-sabotage, allowing you to respond to challenges with clarity and confidence. For instance, accepting a flaw like impatience might lead you to seek mindful practices, turning it into a strength. One effective practice is daily shadow mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and affirm, "I accept my flaws as part of my journey toward wholeness." Repeat affirmations like, "I cannot change what I do not accept," to reinforce this mindset. These rituals help dissolve the ego's resistance, fostering a compassionate relationship with yourself. Through self-acceptance, you create space for positive outcomes, such as improved relationships and greater resilience. However, many people still hold onto the belief that change requires self-punishment or denial, which we must now challenge. This brings us to the final step, breaking the belief that change demands denial. The origin of this belief often lies in our upbringing, where ideas like no pain, no gain are ingrained from a young age. Cultural archetypes, such as the relentless achiever, glorify self-denial, aligning with Jung's warnings about the ego's dominance. These influences make us think that pushing through discomfort without acceptance is the path to success. But the consequences are severe, leading to burnout, inauthenticity, and stalled personal growth. As Jung noted, denial prevents the integration of the unconscious, keeping us fragmented and unfulfilled. Instead, adopt a new framework where change is a balanced process of acceptance. This involves fostering companionship with your true self through mutual giving and receiving, acknowledging your shadows while allowing growth to unfold. Set clear boundaries against harmful self-criticism, treating yourself with the kindness you'd offer a friend. To practice this, start with an acceptance inventory list. Write down non-negotiables for self-treatment, such as, "I will not deny my emotions, even when they're uncomfortable." Track your progress daily, noting instances where you chose acceptance over denial. Another technique is assertive shadow dialogues. In your journal, converse with your shadow aspects, responding with compassion. For example, saying to your fear, "I see you, and I accept your presence as part of me." These practices help integrate your shadows, breaking the cycle of denial and opening the door to authentic change. Remember, acceptance is the key that turns resistance into empowerment. As we near the end, let's deliver the core message of this journey. Acceptance is not about resignation. It's about embracing your whole self, shadow and light, so that real change can finally take root and flourish. This message, rooted in Jungian wisdom, reminds us that true transformation begins within. By accepting what is, we free ourselves from the chains of denial and step into our full potential. Now, to make this practical, let's outline how to transform these insights into action. Start with a 30-day practice plan designed to build your acceptance skills and track your progress. Each day, dedicate time to daily journaling, reflecting on one unaccepted aspect of yourself. For example, write about a fear or habit you've been avoiding, then affirm your acceptance of it. This journaling will help you integrate Jungian principles into your routine. On a weekly basis, incorporate boundary setting exercises. Review your personal limits, such as saying no to overly demanding tasks that ignore your needs. This reinforces self-respect and prevents the return of old denial patterns. Additionally, seek community support by joining a Jungian-inspired online group. Share your experiences with others on a similar journey, gaining insights and encouragement. For instance, discuss how accepting a shadow aspect led to a breakthrough in your life. At the end of the 30 days, hold an acceptance milestone reflection. Look back on your journal entries and note tangible changes, like reduced anxiety or improved decision-making. This reflection celebrates your progress and reinforces the path to individuation. Remember, this plan is flexible. Adapt it to your needs while staying committed. As you practice, you'll notice how acceptance dissolves resistance, making change feel effortless. Let's revisit the soul's role in this process. Your soul's silent longing for authentic connection is fulfilled through these steps, healing inner wounds and fostering wholeness. Each act of acceptance brings you closer to your true self, as Jung envisioned. Consider how this journey applies to everyday life, such as in your career or relationships. For example, accepting a professional setback can turn it into a learning opportunity rather than a defeat. In relationships, accepting your partner's flaws mirrors your own self-acceptance, leading to deeper connections. Avoid common pitfalls, like rushing the process. True change takes time and patience. If you encounter setbacks, use them as chances to practice more acceptance, not as reasons to give up. Jungian tools, like dream analysis, can complement this plan by uncovering hidden shadows. Keep a dream journal alongside your acceptance practices to gain further insights. Over time, you'll build a habit of self-compassion that sustains long-term growth. This 5-step journey isn't just theoretical. It's a practical roadmap to empowerment. As you implement it, observe how your energy shifts from resistance to flow. The provocative question we started with, why do we struggle to change, now has an answer. Because we haven't yet accepted. By embracing acceptance, you reclaim your power and align with your soul's essence. Let's circle back to the introduction's promise, understanding the root of resistance. You've now seen how early wounds create shadows that must be acknowledged. Moving to recognizing your soul, those signs like intuition are your inner compass. Differentiating true acceptance means avoiding quick fixes and diving deep. Practicing self-acceptance unlocks doors you didn't know were closed. And challenging beliefs about denial frees you from outdated patterns. In delivering the message, we affirmed that acceptance is empowerment. Finally, transforming into action with a 30-day plan makes it real. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of peace, knowing you're on the path to wholeness. This script has guided you through that vision, step by step. If you feel inspired, start today with a simple affirmation. Remember, the soul's longing is universal, and your journey is unique. As Jung said, the greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. But through acceptance, you can live your own. Let this be the beginning of your transformation. In closing, reflect on how far you've come in just these sentences. The process of acceptance is ongoing, but each step forward counts. Share your story with others to inspire them, creating a ripple effect of change. Finally, carry this wisdom with you. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Your soul's silent longing will guide you, fostering authentic connections and inner healing. Embrace the shadows, honor the light, and watch your life transform. Thank you for joining this journey. May it bring you the change you seek. Remember, true power lies in acceptance. And with that, we conclude. empowered and ready for what's next. If doubts arise, return to these steps as your anchor. The path to individuation is yours to walk. Here's to a life of wholeness and authenticity. Keep practicing, keep growing. Acceptance is the key. Your soul applauds your courage. Now, go forth and change. In the end, it's all about integration. Be kind to yourself along the way. This is your story of transformation. Farewell, and embrace the journey. The end. Wait, one more. Always listen to your inner voice. It's the soul speaking. Acceptance awaits. You've got this. Transform now. Heal deeply. Connect truly. Live fully. That's the promise. Remember the quote: "We cannot change anything until we accept it." Make it your mantra. And so, we part ways, but the wisdom stays. Thank you. Peace be with you. Growth is inevitable. Acceptance is power. Your soul is free. End of script.